everyone, I am your astrologer Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. This is your forecast for the new moon in Pisces, happening on Sunday, February 23rd, 2020 at 10:31 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 7:31 a.m. Pacific Time. What I think is going on at this new moon is that it's really all about us, do I want to say, getting emotionally clean, getting spiritually clean. I think we've accumulated a lot of junk the past few months, years, and decades as we've been trying to change our life, turn it around, get out of old things, come into better things. And this new moon in Pisces to me is really getting rid of all that old emotional junk, bad stuff that we have accumulated in the process of trying to get out of the bad stuff and get into a better time. So that's what I am going to talk about today. If you want to hear that, please stay tuned. Before I get going, I did just want to let you know though that I do still do daily videos. I do horoscope videos every single day. I also do weekly horoscope videos and monthly videos. I don't do them on YouTube, but you can find them on my website. You can either purchase those videos separately or you can sign up for my subscription and get them every single day. And they're actually pretty long. So if you have time for it, and they're very detailed, I, of course, do recommend it and encourage you to look at it on my website, www.wondergirlastrology.com. Now, let's go ahead and get started. What we've got, always like to do first, is to actually place the new moon on the chart so that you can see it. The new moon is right here. It's at 4 degrees Pisces. This chart is not for the exact time of the new moon. How do I know that this is around the time of the new moon though? Because the moon and the sun are very close together in this chart, almost at the same degree in the same sign. Okay. What are new moons all about? New moons are typically about beginning things, starting things. It's a very small beginning, a very slow start sometimes at new moons, but we're starting and beginning something, some new kind of chapter. What are we starting and beginning? Well, Pisces matters because the new moon is in Pisces. What does Pisces have to do with? Typically, I think that Pisces has to do with two things. One, our emotions, with what's going on inside us, spiritually, emotionally, intuitively, especially because Pisces is a water sign. If it doesn't have to do with our emotions, then Pisces to me also has a lot to do with the past, because it is the 12th and the last sign of the zodiac, which is the one that's charged with making sense of all the other things that came before it. So that to me is what Pisces has to do with. If I wanted to bring those two things that I just explained to you together, well, about what a new moon means and about what Pisces means, then to me, what is going on right now is that we are trying to get a new emotional beginning. We're trying to feel in very new and different ways about our lives, spiritually, intuitively. We're just trying to feel, do I want to say stronger? We're trying to bring our emotion back. And in a lot of ways, I also believe bring our vitality back. You know, maybe the past few years, and I'll talk more about this in a second, but maybe the past few months and years, we've lost a lot of our inner vitality. We felt very drained emotionally. And to me, this new moon, one of the main messages of it is saying it's time to feel better about your life again, and to refresh your emotions and to experience life emotionally in a very different and better way, especially if times have been hard lately. Okay, the other interpretation here is, of course, related to the past. So not only are we trying to refresh our emotions and feel very different and much better about our lives moving forward, then this new moon could also be about us getting a very different perspective on our past and on how we got to this point and on what it all means and how we can move forward from it in a way that we can again feel better about. All right, so that's to me is really the core of what's going on right now in this new moon, and really the core of the next month, just because new moons start month-long lunar phases, which will be with us until the next new moon, which is in Aries. Right now, what's interesting about this new moon in Pisces? What's interesting about it is that it's very closely conjunct Mercury, which is also retrograde in Pisces. So what is this about? Mercury, to me, when it goes retrograde, is a lot about rethinking things. I don't quite want to say redoing things, but for some reason I am getting a vibe of rethinking, reevaluating, and redoing things as well in better ways. So this new moon to me is very interesting because at the same time it's bringing beginnings, which is what new moons do. At the same time that it's bringing a beginning, new emotional states, new perspectives on the past. At the same time it's doing that, it's also causing us Mercury retrograde to root out a lot of things from the past and to root out a lot of things emotionally that were an old way of being, an old way of thinking, an old way of feeling that no longer serves us. All right, so just to bring that together to make it more clear, this new moon is beginnings, sure, but one that's coupled with endings. In order for us to begin the new emotional state, in order for us to get the right perspective on the past, we got to let go of the old emotional state that wasn't working or that was bad for us or that's not meant for this time. And we have to let go of the past and let go of the old way of making sense of it in order for us to move forward. All right. Why do we need to do that? Now I'm going to back up a bit before talking more about the aspects that the new moon is making. Why do we need to do this? Well, that brings me back to my good old friend Saturn and Pluto that I always talk about a lot, or that many of you, if you've watched me for a long time, have always heard me talk about. What is Saturn and Pluto about? It came exact in January, but it had been happening almost all of last year. Saturn and Pluto is about us really overcoming old times in our lives, that may have existed or been happening for 35 years, just because the Saturn and Pluto cycle, it takes them 35 years to come conjunct. All right. And last year, as Saturn and Pluto were coming exact, we were trying to transition out of the past 35 years of our lives. We were trying to transition out of the past 35 years of our lives because either the past 35 years of our lives were hard and were just bad, uncomfortable times, or because we had just gotten tired of the past 35 years. We just wanted something different, like new horizons were calling to us and new experiences. And as a result of us not only wanting to let go of the 35-year-old stuff that we felt stuck in or wasn't right, but because of the transition itself, we again accumulated, I think, a lot of bad habits or bad feelings or a lot of junk that came up in the process. All right, so I want to make that clear that this is twofold. I think the junk that we're trying to get rid of at this new moon in Pisces is not just 35-year-old junk. These aren't just like 35-year-old emotional habits, emotional patterns, ways of existing in our life that have continued. This is also junk that we accumulated during the transition the past year out of the past 35 decades that have been hard. All right, so we've got like junk upon junk, like now in our trunks or now in our closet or now in our soul that's on us that we have to clean up, that this new moon is helping us do. Okay, why do we have to clean up this junk, not only from the past 35 years that we have recently transitioned out of, but also from the transition itself? Because we are starting to become in a very new and different space to build something very new and different for the next 35 years of our lives than what we have been doing. How do I know that? Because yes, Saturn and Pluto already came conjunct and will not come exactly conjunct again, but also because now Jupiter is involved and Jupiter's about to make that conjunction with Saturn and Pluto. And Jupiter brings a lot of times new experiences and better experiences, or allows us to build our life in a different way based on the hard work that we have done. So to bring all of that together, this new moon in Pisces is saying we are at an interesting spot. We're at an interesting spot where we have overcome the past 35 years of karma for the most part, where we are done with it. And not only have we overcome the past 35 years of karma, but we have yet to or are about to build the next 35 years of new stuff or of different stuff, of different karma. We're about to start another 35-year cycle. And the new moon in Pisces is saying, this is great. This is a good thing, you know, like really, I want you all to get excited about this. But the new moon in Pisces is saying before we can build the new 35 years, the next stuff, we have to like clean ourselves, wash ourselves. Pisces is a water sign of like all the bad junk that we're feeling so that we can move forward into this next space with a more clear conscience, or feeling more at peace, or with more, peace and clarity of mind, so that we can eventually do new moon in Aries, doing things so that we can eventually do what needs to be done. And the new moon in Pisces is saying emotions got to come first. You got to work with the emotions, clean out the baggage, get rid of the spiritual junk, get rid of the emotional junk now, so that we can do things better later, or so that we can rearrange stuff now so that we can get a better footing with what we are doing moving forward, right? I think that's what I want to say there. Is there anything else that comes to mind? Yeah. Cleaning out all the baggage from the past and preparing emotionally and getting right emotionally so that we can build on the new life of what is to come, and to build on it in a way that's better, because we don't want to bring the old stuff into the new stuff. Yeah. And with this, of course, in my opinion, being the last new moon of the astrological year, because the astrological year starts, I believe, with Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, which the new moon is going to be in next month. So this month is about, it's the last new moon of the astrological year, cleaning out a lot of stuff so that we can do things more freely, not this month, even though I think we are going to have some support to do things this month, but so that we can do things more freely and from a very different perspective and a better perspective next month, lunar month, which is a thing that I say if you watch my other videos on my website. But next lunar month, that's coming. Not the lunar month, the lunar month. Okay, other alignments that's going on at this new moon itself. Okay, not only is this new moon conjunct Mercury, but it's also making a series of other very good alignments. What do I want to start with? The sextile over here to Uranus and Taurus. What is this saying? It's saying that the more that we clean out the spiritual junk, clean out the emotional junk, get rid of it, wash it, whatever we need to do, the better we're going to feel. The more we're going to feel liberated. Uranus has a lot to do with freedom, liberation, excitement. The more liberated and excited we're going to feel about our lives. Not only are we going to feel liberated, but with the Taurus influence, Taurus has a lot to do with our values, our confidence, but we're also going to start to feel more confident. Like we're creating a life that resonates with our values and with who we are uniquely. We're also going to start to feel too, Taurus to me has a lot to do with being an earth sign, stability and practicality. We're also going to start to feel more stable. So the more that we root out the things from the past that aren't working or that we no longer need and replace them with new, better, and different things that we do need to work, that are going to help us move forward, then the more stable, secure, confident, free we're going to start to feel. Okay, also with Uranus involved, Uranus always brings up unexpected events or unexpected insights. So the more that we root out the old emotional stuff that isn't working and the old stuff and replace it with new and better stuff, we could also get very sudden or unexpected insights about what we need to do next to feel better or have sudden and unexpected events happen. Again, this is a sextile, so these to me are not hard events. This is not damaging events coming to ruin you. These are unexpected events and insights coming to buoy you up and to really help you get more and more and more back on your feet. All right, that I do like. At the same time that that's happening at this new moon in Pisces, that the new moon is making a sextile to Uranus and Taurus, it's also making a sextile over here to Mars and Capricorn. What is Mars and Capricorn about? Well, Mars and Capricorn is a great thing to begin with. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Mars and Capricorn is about us doing things easily, effectively, that are going to work with the long-term goal in mind. So the more that we root out things from the past, emotionally and otherwise, and replace them with different things and with a new emotional perspective, not only are we feeling more stable, more secure, more free to be ourselves, to pursue our values, but we're also feeling more productive, I suppose I should say, with the Mars and Capricorn, and more effective. All right, now Mars and Capricorn doesn't do things fast, so we may not feel like we're productive immediately and everything's happening immediately, but we're starting to feel like we're having a better chance at getting things done in a more solid way than we have before, to put our lives in a place that we need without all the other stuff bringing us down. Okay? In addition to that, new moon in Pisces, we've also got it in a trine to the North Node in Cancer, another good alignment. These are all good things. Perhaps the most challenging thing that I've mentioned so far is Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which is really a good thing because it's helping us to clean out a lot of stuff that isn't working and to wash ourselves of a lot of this old stuff from the past. What is this about? Well, the North Node in Cancer, again, Cancer's a water sign as well as Pisces, so it's also an emotional thing. To me, the North Node is a positive thing. Cancer also has a lot to do with, sure, home and family, but also has a lot to do with what we need to feel solid, to feel strong, to feel grounded in life, to feel like we have a foundation there that we need to support us moving further. So the more that we root out the old stuff and replace it with new, better stuff, a new emotional perspective, again, not only are we feeling more confident, more strong, more free, not only are we feeling more effective, more productive, but we're also starting to feel like more of that foundation and that strength that we need in our life to pursue a bunch of other new things is starting to come back to be there in the way that we're going to need to move forward. So I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Not only that, but at this time too, well, what do I want to say? I'm like, we could be frustrated with Chiron and Aries again, right? That things are going to have to go slower than we might like, but we're coming to terms with that. That's not a thing. Maybe that's a thing, but I think we're overcoming that. So I won't go too much into Mars square Chiron and what that's about. Maybe the other thing that I'll mention, because now I'm coming to the end of what's going on, is Venus and Aries is making a square with Jupiter and Capricorn. Okay, another positive thing. So again, as we are rooting out old things from the past, old emotions, old habits, old patterns, replacing them with new and better things that can bring our vitality back for life, not only are we starting to feel more grounded, more stable, more secure, more productive, more effective, even if we have to go slow to get it, but we're also starting to see new things happen, new Jupiter with relationships, Venus, new relationships or new chapters with relationships, new sources with money, also Venus, or new and better chapters with money. If not related to relationships and money, then we're starting to feel better about ourselves too, because Venus has a lot to do with our own self-worth. So this to me is a good thing. This is not, because I know a lot of you like to know about relationship, this is not a relationship argument alignment, at least not right now. Maybe when Venus squares Saturn and Pluto a week or two from now, possibly, but Venus square Jupiter at this time of the new moon is not about us getting in arguments with people. I think it's about us finding a different way of working with relationships, a different way of working with money that's better, that's going to help us move forward, to heal, to overcome a lot of things from the past, and to propel us forward with more excitement about what is to come. So I like this new moon a lot. So many good things. I think healing, overcoming old stuff, coming up with a new paradigm in a new way that eventually, once Saturn moves into Aquarius at the end of this lunar month, is going to help us start to create something more long-lasting and worthwhile for our future with more focus. So a lot of things are good. It's really just that Mercury retrograde here. In order for us to get the goods, we got to tear up a lot of the old roots, the old plants, the old things that weren't working, so that the new roots can finally come into being, which I just feel like we got a lot of support with. Okay, so that's what I will say there. I think that's all I want to mention for right now. Jupiter, maybe I'll clear my chart to make sure. I also do want to read the inside degrees. There was one that I thought was super relevant. So maybe that's what I'll do now. The inside degrees, I'm going to read. You can find it online. It wasn't written by me. It was written by someone who's much probably better astrologer than I am, and I'm much more informed about these things. But I like it. I'm going to read the inside degrees. I'm looking at it on my computer. You can't see it. For 3 degrees of Pisces, even though the new moon itself is going to happen at 4 degrees Pisces. The inside degree says, was I going to read 3? Yes. Timeless soul faculties wrench free from tumultuous times and places to gaze upon the innermost with tranquil and sage otherworldliness. Okay, so that's what the inside degree says. That to me is another confirmation here that this new moon in Pisces is about us breaking free or wrenching free from difficult and tumultuous times so that we can be in or gaze upon what's been going on in our lives and inside us with more peace, with more wisdom, sage, otherworldliness, and with more understanding. Okay, this inside degree also says John inside very far into the unconscious and superconscious levels. Very Pisces, has a lot to do with our dreams, with our spirit, with our emotions that the new moon is putting a focus on. It says on the surface, nothing happening, a blank, but deep inside, astounding things going on. Worlds ending and beginning. Tragedies, heartaches, we are tremendously overcoming. So we're overcoming all this heartbreaking stuff. Yet all of this is so far inside that it can get twisted in knots and cut off from the center. Therefore, we must over and again wander in search of our lost self and the lost self of the world and journey through the most fantastic scenarios in order to reclaim it at every major juncture, to reclaim our lost soul that's been shattered, that's been hurt. So this to me is another thing that not only are we ending and beginning things, letting go of hard stuff so that we can find more peace and clarity, but that we are, according to this, reclaiming a large part of our soul that has been lost so that we can move forward, creating a future, creating a life that's next from a much stronger place without all this other stuff tearing us apart or wearing us down. Yeah, it says we're recovering the lost soul that cannot be discouraged, that cannot be denied. So the thing that we're recovering in a lot of ways, I believe that this new moon in Pisces is encouraging us to do is it's that life force, it's that vitality, it's that part of us that cannot be discouraged or cannot be broken down that easily. You know, maybe over the course of the past few months, years, and decades of our lives, we've been so broken down that we felt like every single day is just so hard to get through. I can't get through the day. Another thing's going to come up. Another thing's going to come up. And I like to think that this new moon in Pisces is going to help us bring more of our courage and our resolve and our resiliency back so that the days aren't hard to get through, but so that we're feeling more capable or more encouraged or more passionate about what is next. Maybe that's what I'll leave us with. Yeah. Like, am I missing something? Jupiter square Neptune. I think that's good. I think that's the message I wanted to convey. Now your card for the new moon in Pisces. Just I'm gonna give it another shuffle. Your card, this one. I feel like this deck is very Pisces, which I love about it. Excuse me. This card is the Four of Cups reversed. Typically, when I see the Four of Cups reversed, this to me maybe indicates something from the past. Go figure, a new moon in Pisces, something from the past that we either like did at one point or overlooked or didn't like. And this to me indicates us revisiting things from the past and realizing that maybe there was more treasure from the past and more treasure in some old things than we might think that maybe we need to take forward. So I mean, maybe this is like another message. I feel like maybe in my video so far, I've talked a lot about gotta let go of the past. All these things from the past were bad or aren't for us, and we need to flush them down the toilet, wash them down the drain. And this card to me is just a reminder as well that perhaps not everything that happened in the past was bad. Perhaps there were some good things too from the past that we have neglected or that we need to take forward. Or maybe there are also some lessons and some wisdom from the past as well that we do need. So it's not just throwing everything out, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Passively as well, this new moon in Pisces could be figuring out like what's worthy from the past or what we need. It could be like sifting the good from the bad about the past. That's what I'm trying to say. And not just throw all the bad stuff out, but to also keep the good stuff that was from the past as well. Because I'm sure for a lot of us, the past wasn't all bad. There were happy moments too. So this card, I think, is a reminder that it's not just about letting go of a lot of old stuff from the past, but it's also about keeping the good stuff too that you need in order to move forward, and having a lot of that good stuff take on new life, or have us take a second look at some of the good stuff that did happen so that we can move it forward. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups reversed. Typically, to me, when the Ten of Cups is upright, I see this as a card of like home and family, and like the happy, like I almost see this as like a dreams coming true kind of card. Not quite like the star, but of like the happy home, the happy family, feeling fulfilled, feeling, you know, like you're somewhere good. And to me, with this card being reversed, it's like we're almost at a good place of feeling like we're home, feeling like we're where we need to be, feeling emotionally comfortable, feeling like we're surrounded by things that we love or people that we love. We're almost there, but we're not there quite yet. Why are we not quite there yet? Because again, it's sifting through the past. It's sifting through the past, and it's sifting through our emotions, and it's figuring out what things from the past need to go, what emotions need to go, and in favor of new things. And it's about figuring out what emotions and things from the past we need to keep to take even further. And that once we do the emotional stuff and understand or realize what's going on that we need, then maybe not right now, but soon, we're going to start to feel like we are somewhere that is feeling really emotionally good and really strong, and that we're very supported in. And I feel like this new moon is going to be the one that kind of gets us into gear to appreciate a different life experience, and to face that different life experience in the coming days and weeks with more strength and with less fear. So that is your forecast for the new moon in Pisces. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, check out my website, and I will talk to you later.